Welcome to Slayerfest 98. I'm your host, Ian Carlos Crawford, and today I am joined by the host of The Curious JoJo.
Jojo,
Hi.
hello, what's up? What's up?
So we're here to talk Blue Beetle. Give us your, in general, your thoughts on the movie.
I really enjoyed it. It really hit home. You've already seen it, so it really hit home with all the little Easter eggs that they throw at you with the Spanish world, like watching the telenovelas or seeing El Chapulín, which I didn't the little cartoon character. I didn't watch him that hardcore on TV, but I do remember seeing him on TV. I
I
remember him.
didn't know that one was real. I knew the other, I
That
didn't
was
realize
very
that was,
real.
oh, shit.
Yeah, El Chapulín. He was like that little red character.
Yeah.
He's a superhero. He's a Mexican superhero, and I can't remember what bug, but he's an type of insect, maybe like an ant or something.
Oh, okay. That makes sense then.
Turns
But
around, he's a little superhero, and it's a comedy. But that actor, he's also from El Chavo, which that I watched much more. So it was really nice to see that on TV. The Vapor Rub. I think when I saw like there was another telenovela that they showed on their TV with Thalia.
that one
The
was real, right?
That was real as well. That
Okay,
was like
because I recognize
Maria,
that.
Maria del Barrio. And right when I saw it, I was like, I remember this being on TV. Did not watch it. I just remember seeing her. She
I
had
can,
a
remember my grandma talking about that. I
yeah,
remember my grandma and, her sisters talking about it.
so old. So that was really nice to see. I think I remember when George Lopez's character was in the car singing like Selena, Beady Beady Bum Bum.
Yeah, yeah.
That was wonderful. So it was all this like nostalgic things that just like it just really warmed my heart. And then obviously when it all the family stuff that happens along too, I just bawled.
I also really enjoyed it. I thought tone wise, it was a little messy. It didn't quite. Some of the stuff was too sad for how lighthearted it was, but I still loved it overall. I thought it was fun.
And I didn't know there was an old Blue Beetle until they were talking about like in the movie. And then I saw these little costumes. I was like, so wait, what is this? I'm confused. Again, I had no idea, but I started picking up on it. I was like,
So
okay.
that was that shit too much for you? As someone who didn't
That's,
know
yeah,
about
someone
that?
who didn't know. I was a little confused. Yeah, when I saw the costumes, I was like, but he's like an alien thing, and literally he's the first one to get this. So what? Why is this costume here? Was it already a fake Blue Beetle? And so I did get a little confused coming from somebody that had no idea what was going on until they started explaining that there was a local superhero named Blue Beetle. It's like, oh, okay, got it now. That's the backstory behind these costumes. So no, had no idea. I thought as well, like the storyline was very just kind of basic general.
Yeah.
There's nothing like outstanding or different about it. I just feel like it had the general superhero story, but I feel like this one was just had more heart
Yeah.
versus like compared to other ones we've seen. What did you think of her henchman like Ignacio?
I felt we could have just left him as a villain. We didn't. The child soldier's backstory was a little much, right?
Again, that's always like there's a lot of like sadness in this movie, and that was another heartbreaking scene. But
Yeah, I don't know. I felt I was yikes, this is a lot to pack in for real quick. And he's taking a turn and he's gonna throw her in the fire. So that scene and the dad dying felt almost too much for me. I was sad. I definitely cried when the dad died, but that's what I mean about the tone. That's one of my biggest complaints is that was so sad. The daughter is sobbing over her
it
father's
was,
dead
yes,
body, and the
it
house
was her. Yes,
explodes.
that's what got me. And then him watching from in the helicopter. Obviously, they were taking him away, and just watching that happen, it traumatized me. I'm really close with my dad, and I can't. All I did was just like put me and my dad in the situation. I'm just freaking bawling. I was like, this is. I did not expect this movie to go here.
Right?
I honestly, I completely thought I was like, all right, we have this sweet little grandma abuelita here. I was like, I bet you maybe abuelita's gonna pass somewhere in this movie because that's what you just
That would
thought.
make, yeah, yeah.
And then they mentioned the dad. Dad had a heart attack. He's like, but he's okay. I was like, okay. Surely they're not gonna kill the dad though. I was like,
That's
maybe
what
he
I
gets
thought. I
it.
was oh, they're
Oh, like
sad, but he'll pull through.
yeah. And then he had a heart attack. I was like, he's gonna make it. No, did not. That was just didn't expect it. Didn't
Right. And
expect it. The
especially when
grandma
they
first.
pull him away, I was oh, that would be too cruel if he is in the helicopter, can't help his dad, and his dad dies while he's watching.
Nope.
Oh wait, he
They
is
went
like
they went there. What an emotional roller coaster this was. Of
yeah.
course they have to do it that way, the Latinos, man. Make it all dramatic.
Oh my
It's a
god. And
telenovela. Literally.
right. The other thing that I really liked about the movie was that like his family did save him. It wasn't like a in
Right.
an emotional way, it was in a literal way. Like he is kidnapped and the family has to save him.
Another thing that was a little different to me is like based off of the trailers, I would assume we were gonna see this family like in the beginning stages,
Yeah.
give us the storyline, maybe pop in somewhere here and there in the middle, and then we'll see them at the very end when he comes home from saving the day. They were consistently in this movie and everything. They each had they played such a big part in the whole story. Wasn't expecting that
Yeah.
again. And like Nana being so heavily involved and being a badass at the end, again, wasn't expecting all this. So
I did.
that
I
was nice.
I love when she has a fucking gun and she's like, wasn't she like mention the resistance or something? Like she was.
Yeah,
I love that.
it was hilarious. It was so funny. Speaking of Susan Sarandon, what did you think of her?
The thing I liked is that her racism wasn't like cartoony racism. It was like a little bit more, like you said, like she would just say his name wrong. She would like, and I'm sure she's the type of woman that'd be like, I'm not racist. What are you talking about? I have
All
many.
right.
Look at these men that work for me.
I felt like and I said it in my video, she kind of gave me like just like evil stepmother vibes. Like she was kind of catty, sassy attitude, like slick little evil, but I didn't find her to be like main villain
Yeah.
evil. I feel like she could have brought a little bit more. And I meant to say like when we were talking about Carapax / Ignacio, them putting all that backstory at the very end, I don't know if I liked that because throughout he's another person that's just kind of there. He's just the muscle.
Just a thing to fight.
You
Yeah.
don't like him. He's evil. He's bad. And then you find out all this information at the end. I feel like I would have liked it if they would have sprinkled in a little bit throughout
Yes.
the movie his backstory, like maybe him talking to Susan Sarandon and she's maybe threatening him, like "Don't make me do this" or
Right.
something to give us like, "Oh, there's something there. Something's up with him that we don't know about yet." And then it got to the very end. They're like, "I have his memories. Let me show you." And then we get all this information. And then I was like, "Okay, am I supposed to root for him now?"
Right.
Like
It's like he
at
still
the
did all this
last minute,
terrible shit. Like,
yeah, like the very last minute, am I supposed to be like, "Oh, okay"? So I was a little torn at that part. I I like that they gave us the backstory. I do. I just feel like maybe if I got a little bit earlier
yes.
on, I would have been like, "All right, this flowed a little better."
No, I agree because I feel like that was too much for like a second before he dies. Like it was like,
Right.
oh, well, now
Oh,
he's dead. So I don't know. What the fuck am I supposed to
should we
think?
care? I guess I really loved Sholo as Jaime. And I'm glad that we kept calling him Jaime throughout because I was thinking, all right, yes, it's Jaime, but they're probably going to call him Jamie throughout this movie or something. And they absolutely did not, unless someone was messing it up on purpose or something. But I really liked him. I really loved him. He had a good I feel like he acted it very well, especially when it came to the seriousness. I believed him. He was believable. Um, I don't really have too many negatives on him per se. What about you?
Yeah, I
No,
love that we both.
he didn't bother me.
I
Like,
love that we both went to the Spider-Man because that was like for sure what I kept thinking. I was like,
yeah,
I love this. Like he's like charming, like Spider-Man, like Tom
yeah.
Holland. Would have liked to see his butt when he's naked all those times.
Okay, I was thinking, I was like, when that happened, I was like, surely they're not gonna show us Miguel's booty. It's like, and then there was a moment. I was like, oh,
It was close,
yeah,
right?
the cut off of it. I was like, oh gosh.
The one thing I did expect to happen, which did not, I thought maybe you'll know the house she brings them to when she was like, "No one's been here since I was 8." Did she
Okay.
mean no one has visited her, or like she didn't live there? Like, did she live there or did she not?
I thought that was her like childhood home,
Yeah, but she didn't,
and
right?
yeah, and all of her stuff was still there. Her mother's paintings, her pictures were still there, and not I don't I'd have to see this again because I was thinking like, was it abandoned, and we're just going to this spot and everything's still inside, or it's not abandoned, it's just a home you haven't come to visit in forever and
Because
nobody
they're
lives
rich.
there.
Yeah,
Yeah, they're so rich.
that's what
I'm
I
like, just a
was.
second.
That's what I was confused about, because I was like, oh, no one lives in that house. We're setting it up that she's going to give it to them because like she doesn't live there. Nobody lives there.
Yeah,
And
that
then when
was.
she like
That was
didn't,
nice.
I was like, oh, maybe she does live there. I don't
I
know.
don't think she lives there. Again, I'd have to
It's
see it
like their
again.
house blew up. Give it to them.
Right? No, she was like, "Hey, we're gonna pay and get it rebuilt." I was like,
Yeah.
"Can we get something a little bit better though this time? Can we
A
like do
little
an upgrade?"
bigger. Yeah,
Yeah,
like
bigger upgrade because I'm sure they could use it. You know, they lost their auto shop.
a
They
big
get a little
family.
check,
Yeah, like
a check for saving the world. You know.
yeah.
Did you like this the look of the suit and the fact that they didn't really? It wasn't like super CGI. I guess.
I did like that. Did you not?
No, I did. I
Okay.
I like the fact they used like more practical effects. Like the suit looked like he actually had it on.
Yes.
No,
And he didn't look like a cartoon when he had it on, or like
no, it looked good. So one thing that I has been bothering me about this movie is the whole marketing, and now like with box office. Um, I made a comment in my video about the reasons behind why I think it's just doing so bad. Obviously, the most obvious one is the strike going on. So obviously there's very little promotion for that. But second, obviously with DC having like the reputation that they're having right now, I feel like people hear a new DC movie's coming out and they're just not coming because of Shazam, The Flash, and they're just turned off by DC, period. So I think that's messing this movie up. And then also, unfortunately, we're not getting like Latino support. Like
yep.
people aren't coming to see this. But then I'm like, all right, are they not coming to see this because they don't know it's out because the marketing? Are they not seeing this because they're just being lazy and they just they're not seeing it. They don't want to go see it. But it's like we can't ask for representation and ask for superhero movies that look like us or any type of movies. And then when they do give us products, not going to see it. It's like that's gonna make them not release stuff in the future. It's gonna deter them away from it. Just like so many like Latin TV shows that we've had. How many Latin centered shows like One Day at a Time? How many shows like really last? Thank God One Day at a Time lasted as long as it did.
Yeah, right. Like, yeah.
Thank God that show got as long as it did. But there's so many other Latin shows that were just like came and gone because people aren't supporting it. And it's just so disheartening. It really saddens me. And like to see the articles now, it's like it's
You
just sad.
know, I was thinking about that. I saw a tweet. I don't remember who it was from. Maybe it was you, but like someone said, like, it really is a shame that like Marvel and DC are now expanding and like giving more diverse characters because now people care way less about
Yeah.
like it's not like a superhero movie isn't like a big event. It's like, yeah. There's 10 more coming out in a month, whatever. Um, because like, Marvel had the Eternals, and I don't like that movie, but I did like the gay couple. Like I thought did you see
Oh,
that movie?
yes. That was
I
sweet. I wanted
I thought
more,
that
actually.
right, yeah, I thought
Oh, it
they
was
were
too
done
quick. It was
well.
too quick. I wanted more.
Yes. Yeah, and like I liked that it was like I don't know, it felt genuine and it like made me
Yeah.
tear up when they kissed.
Yeah.
But like putting it
Absolutely.
in this movie that's like the bajillionth Marvel movie that had like the least amount of buzz, and like it's like
Mhm.
then I feel like I think the tweet said something like then like the like high up executives and be like, look, see, it didn't do well, so we can't have gay characters. Look, see, it didn't do. We can't have Latino heroes. Like, and like you and I know that's not the case, but like that's
Yeah,
what they take away from it, right?
that's true. I didn't even think about it that way.
All right, well, I'm gonna wrap this up. What was your favorite like scene in the movie?
Oh my gosh, my favorite scene in the movie. Scene in the movie. Gosh, there's so many that I can probably think of. Honestly, I'm gonna say two parts. I
Okay.
mentioned earlier, George Lopez waiting in the truck singing to Bitty Bitty Bom Bom. That was great because I'll do that myself. And then them waking Jaime up with the Vaporub. That was great too. I'm glad we threw that in there because that's exactly what my mother would probably do. Did you with the vapor rub? Did your mom put it in your nose ever?
I still do when I'm that's what
I
I
did
mentioned
too.
you I like, and I'll still like put it a little bit here
In
just to
my
like
nostril, I put it like in my inner nostrils. Like some people are like, ew, not in your nose. That's dangerous. It's like I've been doing this since I was like literally 1 years old. I'm still like,
it
it'll
works better that way. I mean, it probably
yeah,
doesn't, but I
it
feel like
does.
it
I breathe
does.
better when it's just like a little bit around my inner nostril.
Right?
Not too much, but just
Yeah,
enough just to get that. Oh yes. So yeah, the vapor rub, and then obviously here singing Selena in the car. Those are two funny moments for me. I love.
I think maybe it's the moment because this felt also accurate. When like the entire family is bringing him to the interview and they're all like outside the car.
Cheering for him on. That was great. Oh, I loved it. So embarrassing. That was great. I love that part.
Because I like when I was a kid, like if my mom was bringing me somewhere, it would be like my mom, my brother, and my grandma in the car to bring me like to a friend's house. And it's like, does
Doing
everyone
the
have to be
most,
here?
right?
Like,
Yeah, doing the most. I loved it.
so I really like that just because like it made me laugh and it was like cute, but also like also accurate. I
Yeah,
feel
it's
like.
relatable. Again,
Um,
that's why a lot Latinos need to go see this. You guys will get a good laugh out of it. It's fun.
and I'm not normally that big on George Lopez, to be honest, but I did like him in this.
I love George Lopez. This is so funny. I'm like a little bit on the opposite
Oh,
side. I love George Lopez. I liked him in this. There was just a couple parts was like, okay, Theo, like bring it down a notch because he was very loud and joke after joke after joke. A little bit, a part of me was like, okay, bring it down a notch. But I still liked his character.
I did really like when he was like, Batman's a fascist. Like I like that, like he did not like also, I don't know, like all the Puerto Ricans in my family do tend to lean more liberal. Like when I came out, my grandma was like, all right, well, I made empanadas. Are we still eating? Like,
Oh, it was nothing.
and like I like that like they kept throwing in the like the grandma was part of like a revolution, like the uncle was like very like Batman's a fascist. I like that shit because that also like felt, I mean, I know that's not always the case, but like I related to that because like my
Yeah.
dad's family is conservative and my mom's was not. So it was like,
Okay.
yeah, I like that.
No,
Um,
absolutely.
what grade would you give it?
Uh I'm aiming really high here, and people probably be like, no, that's not right. But I gave this a 9 out of 10. I gave it a 9 out of 10. Like story side aside, like I said, it's a very general superhero movie. It's nothing crazy, but it just has so much heart, and I just related to it so much. The father-son relationship, the Easter eggs, the abuelita. It's just like it was just had so much heart, and like I said, the family going on this adventure together. It was at the end of the day, it was all about family, Fast and Furious, familia, I loved it. So it just warmed my heart. So I walked out there grinning. So I gave this a 9 out of 10.
All right.
Aiming high. Aiming
I
high.
get I guess I would like, I don't know, like I'm like a B. Like
Okay.
because the story, I mean, I just agree with that. I just agree with everything you said because it's like the story's like whatever, but the heart really made it elevated,
Yeah.
right? Like,
Absolutely. If it didn't have that, and if it didn't have that heart, this would have been like it was fun, it was cute,
yeah,
nothing crazy, yeah. But I had a good time. No, if it didn't have that whole wholesome heart, family vibe, it would have been kind of like it's okay to
yeah,
me.
yeah. No, I agree because like I don't know. I can't think of another like superhero movie where the superhero gets captured and the family is like
Right?
the
There
like
isn't.
civilians are like going to
There
save them,
isn't. That
right?
threw me
Yeah,
off. It threw me off, and it was heartbreaking. You didn't went on a little family adventure, so I loved it.
yeah. And
I hope we get a sequel, and I pray that. I mean, obviously, box office isn't doing good right now. And I hope that either we get a sequel or we will see him maybe in someone else's movie at least.
so James Gunn is taking over like
Hmm.
DC, and he did say that this will be included in his. But I'm hoping the same thing. I'm hoping like, oh, is the box office going to change that? It's gonna be like, well, it didn't do well, so never mind. I hope not.
I'm hoping that Sunday's Cinema Day is
Oh, right.
National Cinema Day is $4 tickets. I'm hoping maybe that will help spike some ticket sales to see Blue Beetle. I saw today it's going digital September 19th
Oh,
already.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, it's already been announced going digital September 19th.
That's not
Yeah,
great.
that's not good. No, it's not good. So that's why I was like,
But it did beat Barbie. I mean, I know Barbie's in its like 500th week,
yeah,
but I feel like that should count for something, right? It still did
they
bump
were.
Barbie from
I
number
saw a lot
one.
of articles throwing that. They're really trying to pump out like the positive stuff.
Yeah.
So there is some positive in it. James Gunn said we will see him again. The fans, I mean, I think on Rotten Tomato, the fan percentage was very high. I mean, people are actually enjoying this movie, so there's still good things about it. Yeah, money wise, it's not doing good, but everything else, it's got the heart. It's fun.
And I feel like I've seen mostly positive reviews.
I have too. I've seen
Yeah.
some crappy stuff, but overall, no, I've seen majority
Yeah.
really good things about this. So
Yeah.
I'm hopeful we'll see him again.
Cool. Well, thank you for doing this with me.
Yeah, absolutely.
It was nice our first time recording together.
Yeah.
Tell everyone where they can find you and your channel.
You can find me on Instagram, YouTube, and Twitter or X, whatever you want to call it. I'm Jojo Cortez. That's Cortez with an S, not a Z.
We will see you next time. Bye.
Adios.